Hello, everyone. Welcome to the July 2023 AMTA Community Updates. I'm Lori Gooding. I'm president of AMTA, and I'm thrilled to have all of you with us this evening. Before we get started, let me go through the agenda so that you will know what we'll be going through this evening, and then we will jump right in with our updates. So after a few introductions, including our new education and clinical training consultants, we're going to move into a financial update with Leslie Henry. And then from there, we will move into assembly updates with Brian Jantz and the other assembly delegates. From there, we will move into our symposium and AMTAU updates with our two vice presidents, Andrea Dalton and Jen Sokira. From then, we're going to move to our passages update with our AMTAS President-elect Sydney. And then we will move into updates from past President Jennifer Geiger and conclude with government relations updates from Judy Simpson that are going to be shared by Angie Snell. So welcome, everyone. I'm going to stop share as we go to being able to see everyone on the screen. And again, thank you for being here. So the first thing I'd like to do is welcome everyone here on the screen this evening. We are glad to be here to share this information with you. And I want to highlight two people in particular because this is our first time to be able to introduce them to you as a community. So first, I would like to welcome Victoria Vega. Vicki is our new education consultant, and she has hit the ground running. So I'm going to pause and let Vicki just say hi to everyone.
Thank you, President Gooding. Yes, I'm really excited in this new role, and I have been going through a lot of files and trying to get caught up. If you have any questions, please contact me at education@musictherapy.org, and I will try and assist you as quickly as possible. Thank you for allowing me to be in this role.
Thank you, Vicki, and welcome. Just as an aside, we are going to have some links in the comment section of the YouTube videos that you can connect, and one of those will be to the release about Veronica and Vicki, and that includes their contact information. So please go to the comment section of the YouTube video, and you'll be able to click on links to get more information. Another person that has hit the ground running is Veronica Fernandez. Veronica, please say hi.
Hi, everyone. Like Vicki said, it's an honor to be in this position and to see how we can grow together and what we can do. I've also been going through the files, trying to play a little bit of catch up and kind of see what we can do and what we can change, and how we can kind of grow together. My email is clinicaltraining@musictherapy.org, and again, I'm here to help, always ready to answer any questions, and I may even ask you a few questions too along the way. So thank you.
Thank you as well, Veronica. Please continue to be patient with us as we are still transitioning, but I think very, very quickly you will see just what tremendous amount of work that Veronica and Vicki are doing, and really not only catching up, but coming up with some great innovative ideas to not just catch us up, but move us forward. So thank you very, very much for that, ladies. And please feel free to stay or hop over to the YouTube. We're glad you're here this evening. All right, so next we're going to be moving into our financial update, and I'm going to turn it over to our treasurer, Leslie.
Greetings, everyone. As Lori mentioned, my name is Leslie Henry. In case you have not seen me in other videos or other announcements from the association, I come to you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I've been in the treasurer role since roughly the end of October of last year, 2022. So I have been learning very quickly how to help support the association with a variety of different financial aspects. I'm going to share my screen, and that'll just take me a moment. So if you could bear with me, that would be wonderful. So what should be displayed, and if one of my colleagues could give me a thumbs up to say that it's working, that's great. I have prepared a set of slides so that you can all follow along with me. I will too make sure that a link to these slides is available in the comments so that individuals can go back and refer to things that they may have forgotten or want some further clarification on. To give just an idea of what I'll be covering while I speak to you this evening, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the new auditing firm that AMTA has and the process that was gone through in order to hire that new auditing firm, introduce you to the Financial Advisory Committee, talk a little bit about membership numbers and where we're at, a little bit about budget performance, and a little bit about restructuring. And hopefully this satisfies many questions that you might have, but we always are open to more questions through the website. There is a contact us page where emails can be forwarded to me, so feel free to do that as well. So to begin, AMTA found itself in the position of needing to hire a new auditing firm, and the process needed to involve the creation of a request for proposal or an RFP. This RFP was created by me and with some consultation from New Point Advisors and also Arrow Bookkeeping. This RFP was sent out to 7 different audit firms that were referred to the Finance Committee, some through Maryland nonprofits. And out of those 7 invitations, 5 firms sent back the RFPs to us for review. And when I say us, I mean the Financial Advisory Committee. And applications were then ranked by the committee members based on comprehensiveness of application, including factors like commitment to DEI, cost to the association, experience with membership associations with affiliate chapters like ours. I'd like to introduce you to the Financial Advisory Committee. This is a committee that is formed by me per the bylaws, and it involves the treasurer, the president-elect, and the past president, and then individuals at the discretion of the treasurer. And so one of the things that I did almost immediately when we developed this year's budget was to make an invitation to all regional treasurers. There are a couple of new names on this list as they just became treasurers with the new transfer of power within the regional boards. And so there are some new people that have been added, but the people who helped in this process were Becca Kurtz, Amanda Montera, Mary Altum, Hannah Lingfelt, Angeline McRoberts, and Lori Gooding, Angie Snell, and Jennifer Geiger helped with the process of the selection of this audit firm. So without further ado, I'm very happy to announce that AMTA has a 2-year contract with a company called SB and Company. They are out of Owings Mills, Maryland, and they just scored the highest with our group. They have experience working with more than 100 nonprofit organizations with a full complement of services, including audit, compliance, tax, and advisory services. Their objectives as a company are recruitment and retention, navigating IRS regulations, managing grant requirements, analyzing business opportunities, successfully managing risk, and maintenance or maintain and improve board governance. And this was taken directly off their website. We embody the change we want to see. Our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion extends beyond our firm's hiring practices and client portfolio and into our community. The firm is a minority-owned business, and they look at it from an intersectionality of race, gender, and other intersectionalities. Our lead auditor, her name is Pamela Gray. She is a CPA and a partner with the firm. So this is a slide that I actually shared earlier in the year for those of you who may have engaged with a recording that was shared by AMTA. I bring this up because I think it's just a good refresher of how the income structure is built within our working budget. And do please keep in mind the word working. This was the budget that was created at the end of 2022 for 2023. The reason I bring this graphic out is that it shows that just slightly half of our income is built from dues. There are many other aspects that help build income for AMTA, and there are efforts to increase those non-dues forms of income. And there are things that are being worked on with the board, but this is where we built the budget. So about 53% of our budget is built off of membership dues, and then 8.3 off of contributions and 37.9 off of program revenue. So where do our membership numbers stand? Literally, as of yesterday, I ran this report last evening and I saw that we actually have had 2 more professional members join. So the number that is in the graphic on this slide says 1,290 professional members. The various student categories, 372. Other categories are all lumped together because they're usually smaller categories, are 87, and categories that don't draw income, 45, and those are our honorary life members. So we have a total membership as of yesterday of 1,794 members. I'm going to escape from the screen briefly as I would like to share quickly with you. And could you give me a thumbs up of somebody that you can see the profit and loss? Okay. So this report was sent to us by our bookkeeping service, and I do want to highlight a couple of things that I think are really important for us engaging with the update this evening. I'm sorry, I couldn't find the word that I wanted to say. Those of us engaging with this update this evening, this is a comparison of January to June of this year compared against January of June of last year. And the first page that is displayed shows the income areas, which include contributions, program revenue, membership, dues, revenue from investments, and that is the first page. A couple of things that that are beating the budget and or under the budget. The stock market is doing better this year than it was last year, so we are gaining income from that. So there is an increase in some of that money. We are down a little bit in what we have budgeted for membership for the year, but as I mentioned a moment ago, we are still gaining members every day. Usually there's 1 or 2 professional members joining every day. So even though we're down from the annual budget of membership, we still continue to grow and pick up steam, which is really encouraging. Other forms of revenue that are in that other category include book sales and the money we receive from Oxford journals and the money from the symposium and AMTAU. And so those are our levels of income. And while they're down by 9.9%, what I'd like to point out is that what we are the expense line is substantially lower than it was at this time last year. And so what I'd like to point out by that is that we are living within our means. And so that is like the big message, the big takeaway that I would like everybody engaging tonight to really take home with you, is that we are living within our means. And while our income is not as much as we would like, we are still working really hard to scrutinize every single penny that comes through our finances. So I'd like to go back then to this slideshow that I've prepared, and I'm almost done. I'm going to get to the restructuring. So just as a recap for us, last year at this time, we restructured and reduced staff from 10 FTEs to 2. We are intentionally adding back positions and consultant services including the consultants that were introduced this evening and consortium representation, so that we think about every single ad so that it is meaningful and intentional related to the mission of AMTA. The staff essential functions that continue to, we focus on in terms of paid staff, focus on education and advocacy. The state task forces, coordination with states and CBMT, assistance with member services, filling of book orders, assistance to financial team and board, and more. And then there's a variety of services that used to be provided by staff that the best way to describe it in the nonprofit world is in kind. There's a variety of board members and also other volunteers that are performing functions that staff used to perform. And that includes planning of the annual symposium and conference, the coordinating of CMTEs, approval of bills, member lists, running those and generating those, answering inquiries that might come through the contact us page, sponsorship solicitations, and more. So most those are being done by volunteers right now. We're trying to make sure that the services are still robust for people who are paying their membership dues. A couple of other restructuring updates. So there is $41,666 remaining on the lease settlement. $108,334 have been paid to date. When the remaining amount is paid, AMTA has met their obligation and there will be no more money owed for the lease for the Silver Spring property that we once occupied. A payment was made, or a couple of payments were made to So Right LLC for consulting services that were provided in 2021 and 2022 for former staff related to some nonprofit law and management things. Pitney Bowes, there was a negotiation and payments are beginning as we speak, and it's on a 12-month term. Negotiation is still in process with Atlantic, which is the company that held our phone server and also our phone services. So we are working that out. And lastly, the Hyatt. A word on that, we follow their lead, and right now they have not really been engaging with us. So we've been advised by the professionals who our professional restructuring professionals, pardon me, they have been advising us to let the hotel take the lead. I'm sure if there's anything more that needs to be added, Lori can add to that. We are slowly paying down the line of credit that was taken out to help us weather this storm, this tumult. And the deferral that was requested by regions of their dues are now made current. We have paid all of the regions and the Student Association the dues that were owed to them. Lastly, and this is something we will be announcing more detail in the coming months, but it's great news. AMTA hired a firm to assist with an employee retention tax credit. You possibly have seen ads for this, billboards and things on TV. Companies that retained employees through the pandemic are being issued a tax credit or tax refund. And we do qualify, AMTA does qualify, and we expect to have that refund by December of 2023. Once we get a formal word from the IRS that they have no questions, we will be announcing that to the community as well. Lastly, in close, our financial position, AMTA's financial position has improved significantly. There are strategic and intentional spending of financial resources and development of new income sources. There are weekly financial meetings with members of New Point Advisors, Arrow Bookkeeping, the president, the treasurer, and president-elect. And just bringing your attention, and I know a couple other people are going to mention as well, pay attention to the call for volunteers. We're looking for some individuals that may have experience with grant writing or fundraising or fund development. If you do, please, and you're interested, please fill out the call for volunteers. We would love to work with you. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you engaging this evening.
Wonderful. I think our assembly update is next. Brian? And I see Kevin and Mia as well, I think. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Leslie. Thank you, Lori. Mia and Kevin, feel free to jump in at any point. I was going to kind of outline how things have gone so far, but if there's anything you want to add as I'm going through it, feel free to jump in. And then certainly once I've kind of outlined where we're at right now, you've both been so involved with every one of these work sessions so far, so feel free to jump in. And I think I'm just going to kind of start with the beginning of the year. So I know we met back in January to discuss how maybe we wanted to do things a bit differently this year. We had received a lot of input and emails from delegates and community members at the end of last year, really looking at, how could we be more effective, especially delegates wanting to contribute more. And I think a common theme we were hearing is like, is there a way to shift the dynamic so that the amazing folks we have serving can really be contributing in a more meaningful way? So we got to thinking, and this really resonated with us in our discussions. And I'm talking about the board reps and alternates back in January and February. There was a clear desire to shift the dynamic. So we've really aimed for a more collaborative approach, even in how we function. Feeling like it needs to start with us, kind of not just modeling it, but really like walking the walk with that, so that we feel more connected, have better communication, and a better sense of purpose. So we collaborated with members of the community and between us on a schedule for the year that would include assembly work sessions and community meetings. So that was one change right away. Work sessions being just with delegates and alternates present, occasionally inviting a board member or someone to share something, but really a time just for us to connect and get to work, kind of figure out what are we going to, set our own agenda this year, not have it just come from me or from board reps. We shifted the way we scheduled the meetings even. Some of our meetings went over last year, and that was very challenging for all of us involved. So we've been scheduling them for 2 hours, but with only 90 minutes on the agenda. And somehow this seems to be creating a more efficient aspect to our work together and really respecting everyone's time. Our first work session was April 3rd. We started off by voting to confirm ethics board nominations. And this session also included breakout groups. So this was definitely trying something new. And we also, we had delegates and alternates. Everyone was included. We had some key questions, things that we had received from the community and things that came up just in our discussions that we had groups choose from. And then groups could really discuss openly and share ideas with us just kind of supporting that process. So everything that came out of that session was then shared and helped to inform the next work session, which was June 6th. So we did include the board. Members of the board were present for that session. And early on in the agenda, we had Treasurer Leslie Henry provide a financial update, very similar to this evening's update. which I think was really helpful. It led to an open discussion with all Assembly delegates and alternates and board members on where we're at financially, specifically how it helps us better understand or the impact on membership dues structure, which we did vote on in December. It did not pass. So we are, wanting to look at that. Many are wanting to look at that again, but we wanted to take a different approach this time. So the breakout groups in that meeting focused on a few different things. They focused on the potential to have ongoing work groups, assembly work groups that would support different parts of the organization, different parts of the community, and also to continue the discussion that happened, the open discussion that happened on membership structure, membership dues structure, in case there were additional ideas coming up. So once again, we collected all of the information, notes from all of those work group meetings. We did discuss all together again before we ended the session. And now this is kind of bringing us to our next meeting, which is the first time we're having a community open meeting for everyone, which is on August 7th. Before I get to that, the work group discussion was really productive and led us to looking at specific groups. This is based on consensus, looking at where are the needs, specific groups where members can volunteer to sign up, and those included meeting agreements and rules of order, looking at that in more depth, the role of assembly. So looking at ourselves and what is our role? Are we over-functioning right now? Are we underutilized? Are we function in a different way? Student membership and involvement, and communication. So we've attempted to improve communication, but we know we can do better. So gaining input on that. So we are monitoring Google Forms that have been sent out, asking folks to sign up for those specific work groups. There's no expectation that anyone has to sign up for the work groups, but if anyone's really interested. So what we're doing now is looking at that, but also focusing on preparing our draft agenda for the August 7th Assembly community meeting. This could potentially include a motion that Assembly delegates would be discussing and voting on relating to membership dues structure for next year. This is very much in the works. And, I was just wanting to also say, although a wide range of topics have been discussed in our breakout work groups, and we've read through all of that and we've shared it with all of the delegates so everyone can see what's being discussed in the work groups that they're not a part of, including what the role of assembly is at this point in time, it is still clear to us that it is our responsibility, it is our role to be looking at, any change in membership dues structure does come to assembly. The motion is made in assembly, and we would vote to approve or not approve any motion related to that. After August 7th, we have a few more meetings this year scheduled. We have an October 3rd work session, and we have a December 4th community meeting on the schedule. Something else we did this year is scheduled backup dates for all of our meetings. So if any meeting is going long or feels like we didn't get to the whole agenda, there are items on the agenda we did not get to, we do not need to vote to extend that meeting. There is a backup date where that meeting would be continued. Those backup dates that we still have this year. So far we haven't needed one, but we have September 5th as a backup date and November 6th. And I know we want to thank everyone currently serving on assembly for kind of sticking with us, for offering all their ideas, all their input, for trying new things this year. My take is that I think it's gone reasonably well. Certainly it has shifted the dynamic. It's not perfect, so we're piloting a lot of things, and also community members who have given us support, shared their wisdom. It's been really helpful too. So I would love to kind of turn things over to Mia and Kevin, because you've been so involved in gathering a lot of this information that I don't want to say taking credit for, but that I'm sharing right now. Do either or both of you have things you would like to add?
Yeah, something's on my mind, Brian. I would like just to share that many of the assembly meetings in the past have been these public forums that are open to the community. And we made that shift this year in order for us to actually, one, get to know each other, because I feel like a lot of, we come to these assembly meetings and like the people who are actually serving on the assembly and as alternates don't really know each other. And so we've created these work groups, and we have gotten some really positive feedback from the assembly and the alternates in regards to the work that we're actually doing now in these assembly work groups. We actually get to talk to each other now and form ideas and build connections and relationships with each other across the regions. And so we have received some really positive feedback in regards to breaking out in smaller breakout rooms where maybe it is where it's more comfortable to have these conversations in a smaller setting. And then all of the feedback and all of the comments and questions that come out of those breakout rooms get shared with the larger group. And so that aspect has been really positively received. I keep saying that, but it's been working out really great for us, and we're excited to share it with the community in August. And with that being said, for maybe some that are watching, the assembly is really there to literally represent our communities and our regions. And so I encourage everyone in the community that if you have concerns or whatnot, it's not, you don't have to just shoot an email to someone in the AMTA, the contact us in the AMTA email or whatnot. But you are always welcome to come to a delegate that you know personally in your region or whatnot. And we're, that's kind of why we're here. We're here to represent the community in our regions and to bring it to this larger group. And so I encourage, you might know somebody more personally, on the assembly, and that connection can be fostered into the greater good. So I encourage you to reach out to your delegates in your region. And that's all that I have on my mind. So thank you.
That was great, Mia. Thank you for all that. Kevin, did you want to add anything?
I don't know that I have much to add. It looks like both of you covered a good amount of what we're doing. So thank you.
Well, I want to thank both of you for reading through all of those notes and organizing things so that we could figure out the best way to share it, including when we figured out that we didn't want to change things, that we really wanted to share things as is and not share our interpretation, interpret what folks were discussing in the work groups. I think that was important too. But thank you both so much for all your work so far this year. We're only about halfway there, so it was good so far. I think we are sending it next to Andrea and Jen for a symposium update.
Thanks, Brian. Yes, I'm Andrea Dalton. I'll say that first, Vice President for AMTA, and Jen Sakura and I have been working a lot on the symposium. We're really excited. Save the date if you haven't already for October 8th through 11th. That's when we will have the live classes going. We will also be recording everything again as we did last year and have those classes available asynchronously. So if you're not able to make the scheduled times, those will all be recorded and available later on. We're pretty excited that we have a presenting sponsor. Liquid Mind is going to be our presenting sponsor again this year. Many of you are familiar with how supportive Chuck Wild has been for our organization over many, many years. So we're thrilled to be working with him again, and really couldn't ask for really a better presenting sponsor. He's very generous with his support of AMTA and the continued education opportunities that we have as well. We are still seeking other sponsorships though. We need those in order to keep things going, in order to be able to offer our continuing education platforms in lots of different ways, including the symposium, but not limited to that. So please reach out to folks, organizations that you think would appreciate some highlighted opportunities during the symposium. We will be happy to share more information with them about what they can expect as a sponsor and what we will be able to provide to them as part of that. I'm also really excited to note that we are bumping up the number of CMTE, pre-approved CMTE credits that we will have available this year in the symposium. I believe we will have about 40 pre-approved CMTEs available. So that's tremendous. It's really exciting to see the program come together. We are not quite ready to release it yet. We're still working on some scheduling things, but we hope to have that information out very soon. The schedule and registration will, we're aiming toward August to get that out to everyone. So you'll have plenty of time to look it over and register and share with your friends and colleagues. I'm also thrilled to announce, this is the first time that anyone is hearing about this outside of the board, that our keynote speaker for the symposium this fall is Autumn Brown. Autumn Brown is a musician and a movement facilitator, and not movement like moving your body, but movement like social movement. And so she has a lot of really, really amazing things to share with us. And the title of her talk is going to be Already Free: Imagination as a Site of Transformation, which is just thrilling to me to think about. I don't even know exactly what she's going to say, but I think it's going to be really fantastic. I'm a little bit of a fan of Autumn, and so I'm excited that we'll have her to speak with us as part of the symposium. I believe that's all I have to share at the moment, but I'm going to pass it over to Jen to add just a little bit more to our symposium updates.
Sure. We wanted to make sure we covered the rates for the symposium this year. They're going to look very similar to last year. If you didn't participate, last year we used a 3-tier social justice oriented rate. Not really sliding scale, but you can choose your rate based on a variety of factors that we give you to kind of reflect on and think about. This year, we're using the same scale, and we're just adding an additional rate for those who would like to be generous to AMTA and have the means to do so. So you can look for your rate to be 50, 100, 150, or 200, depending on your means and various other intersections that you can independently reflect on, consider as you decide about your participation in the symposium. And we're also very happy to share that we have a very generous number of scholarships that will be available to students, interns, graduate students, new professionals, and professionals this year. So scholarships will be able to be requested. And that information will be available in terms of how you do that. They're going to be available to anybody in our music therapy community. And that again, it will be posted when we post our symposium announcement, and it'll be embedded right on the registration site. So you can have access to that information. So I think that covers everything with regard to our symposium. We also wanted to direct you to this website, amta-u.thinkific, which is THINKIFIC.com. And you can also grab this QR code if you would like to be directly taken to our thinkific.com site. So AMTAU is our new home for our continuing ed. So the symposium will be available to purchase and register at this site. But when you navigate there, you're also going to find our other continuing education offerings. So as we announced back on June 16th, all of our AMTA e-courses are now going to be housed at AMTAU. I want to reiterate our gratitude, really heartfelt gratitude for the many people over the years who have contributed to AMTA e-courses. So many people have shared their knowledge with us, both in conferences and through e-courses. So I just think this is a great time to just say thank you to everybody. And when you travel to AMTAU on your internet browser, what you'll find right now is we have 5 courses available. Some courses, there is a fee for either AMTA members or other people in our music therapy community. And then we also have a course available for free. So right now, the ones that we have online are developing a pre-internship supervision program, establishing relational safety, a collaborative process with clients in guided imagery and music, Understanding Ethics and Developing Practical Moral Wisdom 101, Becoming a Music-Centered Music Therapist, and Supervising the Music Therapy Intern, which is the course that you need to take to have a national roster internship. And that Supervising the Music Therapy Intern is available for free for individuals on our in our community. So please stay tuned at this website, amtau.thinkific.com, for updates. You will find the symposium as well as our Passages conference links right there, as well as new courses as they become available. So I think that's what we have for AMTAU and our symposium update. And I'd like to send it to Sydney, our AMTAS president-elect, for an update.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for letting me have the opportunity to speak with you guys this evening. Leading off the conversation we just had regarding AMTA Symposium, I'm here to announce and just relay this information that currently all AMTAS, the American Music Therapy Association students, operations are as normal planned. I know some of our scholarships and our business alongside the restructuring of AMTA did shift as well. But currently we are offering a Passages event for our students. We are continuing our scholarships this year, and all of our formal business, which includes regional opportunities and individual business opportunities, are a go for 2023. We're proud to announce that our Passages event, which is a student-led conference, will take place October 7th. The time will start at noon Eastern Standard Time, 12, and then go for 2.5 hours, so it'll end at 2:30 p.m. We're really excited to support students and continue to do that in a different way. Our title for this event, for our Passages event, is Navigating Music Therapy, empowering students through advocacy, research, creative outlets, and support spaces. As I speak for our executive board on AMTAS and for our president who couldn't be here, Mika, I want to tell everybody that we are prioritizing advocacy, equity, and action in our student communities. Hopefully the fact that we have all of our current business going is a direct reflection of that, but we will continue to do that throughout the year. All of our scholarships will be offered this year. You can find those on our website. I will link our website in the group chat, and then Andrea, you can send it off in the YouTube video. That website link is www.amtas.org, www.amtas.org. There you can find scholarship information on our Passages event, and then also just to highlight something we're currently working on, all of our student standing committee reps have applications out right now. So applications for those will be due on September the 3rd. We have an advocacy virtual open house night, which is August 16th. I'll send the information out as well. And then touching on some student finances is that we are having a great fundraiser in the fall. So once we get all that information, we'd love to have you guys support us with our finances and also with supporting our students in our current community. Thank you.
Sydney, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much to the AMTAS board and to all the students who are working so hard on behalf of the music therapy profession. We're just delighted you were here with us tonight. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Geiger. I am the immediate past president, and I thank you all for being here. I'd like to share a few updates for you. The 2023 Arthur Flagler Fultz Research Award, which is generously supported by Tom and Lucy Ott through David's Fund, received a total of 10 applications. So Michelle Fornash is our Fultz chair, and she is working with reviewers to move those applications forward. I've been working with donors, and that has resulted in our presenting sponsor from Chuck Wild of Liquid Mind, as well as some updated guidelines for the Sears Distinguished Lecture Series thanks to Mrs. Margaret Sears. I think the call for nominations was mentioned earlier, and I just want to say it again. It's open till the end of July, and I want to thank everyone for volunteering thus far. And on the screen, I see that there is a bit.ly and a QR code. The bit.ly link is https://bit.ly, bit.ly/AMTA volunteer 2023. So I encourage you to go to that link. We are looking for members of the nominating committee, or I should say I am in particular, as that is something the past president helps to organize. And we are using a new process this year for generating volunteers. And so we will have more information for you at the end of July about AMTA officers. So thank you so much for your ongoing support. And now I'd like to kick it off to who's next?
To Angie, who's going to give us our government relations update. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, everyone, and thank you all for joining us tonight. My name is Angie Snell, and I'm the president-elect. I am pleased and honored to bring forth the government relations report on behalf of Judy Simpson. There's an amazing amount of work that is going on. I'm going to just dive into it and share what she has forwarded. And I'm going to share my screen. Give me one moment. Here, give me a thumbs up if you could see my PowerPoint. Great. Okay, my leading slide is not there. I don't know why, but that's okay. We'll get there. There we go. Okay. Judy says that AMTA continues to actively advocate for increased access to quality music therapy services on the state and federal level. As AMTA's Director of Government Relations, Judy is pleased to share the following highlights of legislative regulatory projects completed in 2023. Collaboration with CBMT on the state recognition operational plan has included work with task force members in 23 states. Congratulations to the music therapists in Washington and Ohio for successful passage of licensure legislation this year. They are now shifting their focus to the creation of regulations to help implement these new laws. Task force members in Illinois, Maryland, New Jersey, and Virginia continue to monitor and contribute to regulation development on their enacted licensure statutes. Several other states came very close to seeing their licensure bills reach the finish line, but unfortunately, obstacles unrelated to music therapy prevented their passage this year. You can bet they're on it for the next session that's coming. The following states introduced or are introducing music therapy legislation this year. This is an impressive list, everyone. I have to read them all. Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, New Hampshire, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Texas, Vermont, and Wisconsin. I know firsthand that all of these efforts entail Judy to do multiple meetings, multiple networking, and lots of resources. So we want to thank everyone who's engaged with all of this. There's productive advocacy trainings, virtual and live visits with legislators and state agency officials, successful Hill Days, and committee hearing testimonies are completed across the country to support these pieces of legislation. The good news is that some of these bills are still in play, while others may carry over into the next legislative session in 2024. Please join Judy and all the rest of the board in thanking the amazing efforts of all state task force members for their tireless commitment to expanding access to music therapy. AMTA's involvement in Washington, D.C. based national coalitions have led to several positive opportunities to increase awareness of music therapy, and to support federal legislation and regulations impacting the clients that music therapists serve. The association is included on communications and the following entities: U.S. Department of Education, Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services, Senate and House Appropriations Committees, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, House Subcommittee on Labor, Health and Human Services and Education, Senate Labor, Health and Human Services, Education and Related Agencies Appropriations Subcommittee, Senate Health, Education, Labor and Pensions Committee, National Institutes of Health. Upcoming music therapy advocacy opportunities include AMTA's participation along with CBMT in the National Conference of State Legislators in August. This event allows us to visit with legislators and staff from across the country seeking support for music therapy state recognition. AMTA's representation as a panelist for the Sound Health Initiative workshop on music as medicine, the science and clinical practice in December. This event is co-organized and co-sponsored by the National Institutes of Health, National Endowment for the Arts, NEA, Renee Fleming Foundation, and the John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts. AMTA's participation in the Sound Health Network Reimbursement Affinity Group. Woo, is that a lot? There is a lot going on. The additional advocacy projects this year have included providing support for Sound Health Network virtual platform, MS in Harmony program, World Congress exhibit, reimbursement project with Global Brain Institute Fellow, Musical Universe resources, congressional briefing on alternative mental health therapies for youth with foster care needs. Examples of some of the coalitions AMTA is a part of are on this list: Board Association Management, Consortium for Constituents with Disabilities, Health Professions Network, Mental Health and Addiction Network, National Alliance for Specialized Instructional Support Personnel, National Coalition of Creative Arts Therapies Associations, Professional Management Convention Association, Disability and Rehabilitation Research Coalition, and the World Federation of Music Therapy. I want all of you to know that we are always accessible on these topics. Judy wants me to make sure that you all know you can contact her at simpson@musictherapy.org. So don't hesitate to reach out. Yeah, and I want you all to join myself and the rest of the board in thanking Judy robustly for all that she does and all that she coordinates. I know the people in the local states who are working in all these efforts really know how valuable her work is. Thank you. And I will kick it back to Lori.
Great, thank you, Angie, and thank you everyone for the really valuable information that you've shared tonight. There have been a number of things that we've talked about, and as we've mentioned several times, we're going to be continuing with updates. Sometimes they will be in live formats like this in real time. Other times they will be videos, and other times they might be announcements that are posted to latest news. As a reminder, we have some links that are going to be in the comment section for this video on YouTube so that you can go and access information on Veronica and Vicky, as well as the spring update, which has the schedule of association activities, which includes both board activities and the assembly activities, so that you can get the dates for all of those for the rest of 2023. And again, those links will be in the comment section under YouTube. And here, thanks to Andrea, is a QR code for that information. Or actually, excuse me, I'm sorry. Here's the QR code. If you have not signed up for the discussion following this meeting, we would love to have you join us. And so you can either connect here through the QR code, or you can go to https://bit.ly/AMTA summer SUMMER 2023. So that's https://bit.ly/AMTA SUMMER 2023. So thank you, everyone. We are going to take about a 15-minute pause so that we can transition to the link for the discussion. And just to let you know, the Google form, we do have the questions. We will be closing the Google form. And if you have additional questions, you will have the opportunity to submit those during the post discussion via the chat in that meeting, right? So thanks to everyone here tonight. Thank you to the board members, to our guests this evening. And again, thank you for so much wonderful information. Please consider completing the call for volunteers and watch over the next few weeks, because end of July and through August is going to be a busy time for releasing of information. So thank you, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a good evening. Good night, everyone.